Salutations everyone, Shadow Taurus here, back with another Naruto power scaling video for y'all today. And in today's video, I am actually joined by my good friend Null. Say hello, Null.
Hey guys, what's up? Glad that you had me on the channel. Can't wait to talk about the topic today.
Awesome, thanks for coming on, and today's topic we'll be talking about Tobirama versus Sage Kabuto. But before we get into the video proper, make sure to hit the like button, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel. Also click the notification bell to know when I upload. Finally, check out my Patreon and my YouTube membership program. Now, when it comes to Tobirama versus Kabuto, this is a very interesting matchup, and it's a very tough matchup in like a lot of different regards. Tobirama is hailed in his time as the fast shinobi. Kabuto is hailed as like the next Orochimaru and is one of the main factors in the Fourth Great Shinobi War. But who actually is able to win amongst them? Well, that's what we're going to find out. So I'm going to hand it off to Null here to give us a gauge of Sage Kabuto's strength. You want to start us off?
Yep. Now, with Sage Mode Kabuto in particular, just like any Sage Mode user, he has danger sensing, which plays a high level on how he avoids attacks and dodges them. So, right, what we can get into him first is he does have relative scaling with Ito Itachi and EMS Sasuke, and it is kind of signified that he could possibly be holding back against at least Sasuke in terms of lethality because he's trying to capture him, right? But let's go over some of his feats, which is dodging a Susanoo arrow, which is pretty impressive to the fact that the Susanoo arrow is probably faster than Sasuke himself, which again, pretty impressive. And Kabuto also does have a countermeasure to like at least Sharingan Genjutsu before, you know, like Izanagi. So, right, so he does have relative scaling to those two. He also does have all of the Sound 4 abilities on top of Orochimaru's powers. So he has a very wide range of abilities, right? And he's also able to put Itachi and Sasuke in a Genjutsu to the point where they need to use their Mangekyo Sharingans to release each other, which is pretty crazy when you think about the fact that he put both of these two, and if they didn't have each other, they probably would have been beat here, because they need to free each other from the Genjutsu, so if you don't have the other one, they can't be freed. So in terms of Genjutsu, Kabuto also has that as well, and on top of that, he has a few really good jutsu, which would be the Sage Art White Extreme Attack, which is the dragon attack which blinds their opponent and their senses on top of that. Alright, so this jutsu was so prominent that he was able to blind and cut off Sasuke and Itachi's hearing and make their Susanoos falter. What I mean by falter is their Susanoos, they literally couldn't hold up their Susanoo or do, right? And for lastly, I will include the fact that Kabuto does think he is the closest thing to the Sage of the Six Babs, which kind of just says where his power is at. Of course, the statement doesn't really mean a lot, but it does put into perspective that in terms of Sage mode, at least he thinks he's on that level. So that's pretty much all I have to say for Kabuto.
Right. Kabuto's a monster when it comes to strength, but then we got Tobirama, his opponent, and Tobirama's got a lot of different feats and scaling. So we'll go over some AP feats first. His biggest AP feat is that his water style was able to completely just cut apart God Tree roots, right? Now, this is a very impressive AP feat, as the only people we see do this are Hiruzen with Enma, and even Naruto I don't believe could break through it because he was having his chakra drained. And even Minato wasn't gonna be able to do it, but also again, he was out of chakra, so really depends on how you view it. But again, Tobirama was able to do this, very good AP feat. And then in terms of like overall power, he has a really fun feat of chakra flexing the entirety of Team Taka. You've got EMS Sasuke there. This is post his Kabuto fight. You've got Suigetsu, you've got Jugo, and you've even got Orochimaru there. And he chakra flexes, and all of them are just completely like holy shit, you know? And a lot of people try to say like, oh, this could only mean he's relative to Sasuke. And then, but Hashirama does the exact same thing. And it's implied that Hashirama's stronger than Tobirama here. So it would just make sense to apply that same logic to Tobirama and Sasuke. So you've got that. And then in the speed department, he's got the Flying Thunder God. Now, I'm going to quickly go over this. A lot of people think he's faster than like Madara and Hashirama. However, this is not the case. What we see when he fights Madara, One-Eyed Madara, is he blitzes behind him with Flying Thunder God. Madara weaves him, and then he's able to dodge Madara's attack with a Flying Thunder God, because it makes a note of there is a Flying Thunder God symbol on that kunai. And then when we cut back, Madara has completely overtaken him and he's pinned down to the ground. So it's very clear that the only way he's faster than Madara is through his reaction time with Flying Thunder God. And that is crazy in terms of like a crazy reaction feat, but it doesn't really scale him above people like Sasuke in terms of combat speed, unless you use the scaling I used previously, which then leads back into Sage Kabuto versus Tobirama, how these two actually scale each other. And I would say they scale pretty relative. However, there becomes a very big issue with Tobirama's win cons. Let's go over Sage Kabuto's win cons. You kind of want to go over just how many win cons Sage Kabuto has?
Yeah, so we'll be at this for a little bit, all right? So, you gotta consider the Genjutsu, right? So, although Tobirama probably does have high Genjutsu release because he always has to fight Uchihas, at least and when he was alive, right? But that goes into a measure when Kabuto can put somebody that has a Mangekyo Sharingan and has good proficiency into a Genjutsu. So that's one right there, his Genjutsu. You also have the fact that he has all the Sound 4 abilities, which, I mean, again, he has it to a better extent than they had it. So let's take and consider like the Spiral Web can't even be burnt by the Susanoo. On top of that, you have the fact that he has Jirobo's Earth Style Terra Shield, which, you know, just adds on to the most destructive force. He also has Kimimaru's abilities, Bones, to his advantage on top of that, right? So then we have one of the most annoying ones, which what I mentioned earlier, the Sage Technique White Extreme Attack. This jutsu alone probably puts Tobirama at a very horrible advantage due to the fact that if two Sharingan users can't use their eyes or their senses, that kind of puts you under perspective how really destructive and bad this jutsu is for his opponent, right? Because if he gets this off, no matter what you do, all your senses are cut off for a extended amount of time. And to the fact that Tobirama doesn't have any special sensory, it might be even longer for him. So that's probably just what I feel of all his win cons so far.
Yeah, no. Now, what about Tobirama's win cons? So there's a problem here. There's a bit of an issue, right?
Yeah.
We thought for a good several hours about what Tobirama's win cons are, and we came up with two. And one of them is not guaranteed, unfortunately. Let's go over the first one. That being his tandem paper bombs. Now, this is going to be controversial, but I'm not 100% convinced that with tandem paper bomb prep, that Tobirama could actually kill Kabuto. And let me explain what I mean. We see multiple times throughout the series, such as in part 1 and the beginning of part 2, Kabuto is able to recover from near death via his healing, right? So then let's take into account what Kabuto has here. He not only has his crazy healing, he's also got Sage Mode, which augments this healing. He's got Kimimaru's Bones, which augment his durability. And there's a chance the paper bombs never even reach him because he's got Kidomaru's webs, which can even stop Amaterasu. So that might be able to stall the paper bombs. And a lot of people say like, oh, you know, they can't be that durable. Well, sure, maybe the webs aren't that durable, but it's not guaranteed that Tobirama's paper bombs are going to be able to kill Kabuto. Like that's the biggest thing. And so if he doesn't have that, what other win cons does he have? The only real win con he has is his water style to potentially kill Kabuto, because that should have enough AP to pierce Kabuto. But even then, it's like tough to say if it would kill him, you know? So, at least in my personal opinion, I think the winner of this is very, very obvious. Is very clearly Kabuto. He just has better scaling and better win cons, you know? Is there anything else you want to add?
Not much. I pretty much went over all that we can, especially with Kabuto, in terms of his battle IQ and his combat. Because his fight against Itachi and Sasuke really demonstrates how busted all of his abilities are. And, you know, Itachi and Sasuke both together are struggling to fight this new version of Kabuto, and, you know, all of his feats together kind of just put together the fact that he might just be way better than Tobirama, the second Hokage, which is just sad to say something.
Yeah, no, it's very sad to see. But that's the video. Again, I really want to thank Null for joining me today. You know, he's a really great guy, and you guys should check out his channel because on his channel we're gonna be doing a video as well. We're gonna be ranking the Chunin exam strongest fighters. You know, mainly the Genin. You know, and again, thank you to him for joining. And remember, guys, to like, comment, don't forget to subscribe. And until we meet again, good luck in your power scaling endeavors.